Hello, everybody. It's your boy, Jmulls of Jmulls Gaming, here today with my review/impressions of the PlayStation 5. The console itself is large, but honestly, the aesthetic has grown on me. It's the only white console that I got outside of, the Wii, so it's nice to have some visual variety there, but the aesthetic of the console is low on my priority list, as I'm sure it is with a lot of you out there. The controller, though, is the DualSense, and it's very reminiscent of the build of an Xbox controller, more so than the traditional DualShock, dual-cylinder design, and I vastly prefer this new style. To me, it's just more ergonomic and feels good in my hand, feels good to play in longer sessions. The D-pad, though, is probably my favorite D-pad of the modern controllers that are out there. I don't like the omnidirectional design of the Xbox One, or the Kinect. I said Xbox One, I meant, the one on the Xbox, not the actual console Xbox One. Or the Kinect D-pad on the Switch Pro controller, since when I'm using the D-pad, I only want to go up, down, left, or right with the thing. Since I'm probably fiddling with an options menu or a menu of some kind, so not having to worry about hitting the left button, but a bit too high so it goes up like a freaking jabroni is quite nice. And overall, when I want to do an input on the PlayStation controller, normally, it does what I want. I'm not, trying to mess with the D-pad to go in the actual direction that I want or anything. It's nice. I have big hands, and the controller fits comfortably in them for me as well. The overall UI of the PlayStation 5 is decent. Actually, we can talk about that right here, because I'm in something we'll talk about in a bit, which is the media player. And I quite like that. I believe the PlayStation 4 had that as well, but I do like the iteration that is there in the PS5. So the overall UI of the PS5, in my opinion, is decent. It's a shake-up from the style they used in the PS3 and the PS4, and you can argue if it's necessary to do a new style or not, sure. But once I got used to it, I'm honestly here or there on it, because, I don't particularly care that much about UIs, just get the job done and I'm satisfied. And here, at least, puts the information that I really care about, which is the games, front and center. So, hey, I want to play Nier Automata right now, I can do that. Hey, I want to go play Final Fantasy VII Remake, I can do that as well. Hey, I want to go play Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, cool, I can do that as well. So, Final Fantasy VII Remake, I want to go just resume activity. There we go. Gotta wait for this image to load, because the SSD in the console is fast, and it has this resume activity feature. I just load right into where I was the last time I played this, which is very nice to have, because I don't feel like I don't have to wait around. I hate waiting around to get into the games that I want to play. If I want to play a game, I want to play it right now. So I can just go over to, say, Crisis Core, resume activity. I just want to play Crisis Core. I don't want to have to mess about with a menu and options or whatever. I just want to play the game. Loading save data. There we go. And we're in. That fast. That fast. That is very nice to see, in my opinion. And like I said, they went with an SSD for this console, and for those who don't speak computer, it essentially means that crap goes fast and loads fast. There's even this resume play option, which I just showed you, where it will automatically go through the motions of booting up the game and your most recent save. So you don't have to mess around with the main menu. And with the speed of the SSD, it's snappy like you just saw. So if you're indecisive as hell, if you just want to play a different game, you can boot each up rather quickly. And I'm a PlayStation OG. I had every PlayStation since the PS1, so I remember the load times of games like Metal Gear Solid 3. And I've even heard the legends that spawned of the launch day version of Bloodborne, and those load times before they were patched. Stuff just is quick, and it's a breath of fresh air. And honestly, it might be faster than my gaming PC right now. My rig is a few years old, I'm only running a 1070. And I don't think my SSD is the best, but it's still an SSD, so this stuff runs fast. Right? You're not really messing around with options and stuff like that. Now, if you go into a PS4 game like Nier Automata for me, you want to play a new game, you don't have that resume activity feature, so you do have to go through it manually, which, okay. But hey, it is backwards compatibility, and you can play your PS4 games on the PS5, which is a trend I like to see and I want to see continue. I'm a big fan of backwards compatibility. I have a big library of PS4 games that I would like to continue being able to continue playing, because I enjoy them. I have games like Nier Automata, Persona 5 Royal. These are games that I want to play. Sekiro, Bloodborne, Spyro the Reignited Trilogy, Kingdom Hearts. I want to be able to play these games, and because of backwards compatibility, I can. I always hated the trend that Sony started to do with later versions of the PS3 and the PS4, where it's like, hey, all those old games for this family of consoles you own, because you've been with PlayStation since like the PS1, yeah, you can't play them anymore because your old console's broke and you only have the new one. Like, it sucks, but I can at least play my PS4 games. But I will say, probably my favorite trend that has been happening with the latest generation of consoles is the standardization and acceptance, and popularization even, of the 60 FPS movement. Not movement, but you get my point. Games are more stable from my experience, they look better, and they play way smoother. And it's overall just a more enjoyable experience overall. I think games are pretty much across the board, unless it's a stylistic choice, like say the South Park games of old, where they're trying to match the FPS of the show. There's pretty much no game out there where I would say I prefer the 30 FPS version. Like, I can play 30 FPS fine, like I grew up on consoles, I can do it. I still vastly prefer 60 FPS experiences. But with the PS5, the thing's powerful enough where it's just like, hey, pretty much almost all the games you're going to play, they're probably going to be 60 FPS. Having these games be standard at 60 FPS across the board pretty much is a massive draw for a gamer like me, or a player like me, that cares about these higher frame rates. It's made me come back to being more of a console gamer. I love the PlayStation 5 controller. I don't have to worry about the performance of the game because the console is stronger now than they used to be. And that's a very nice trend to see. I'm really liking the PS5. I really am. I want to see what other exclusives come out for it, because I feel that the biggest indicator of whether or not a console is good or not is how powerful it is, how well can it run these games, and what games does it have at its disposal. So yeah, I'm going to call the video there for the day. Thank you all for tuning in. My pleasure making the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment down below with your thoughts, your opinions on the PS5. Are you going to get one? Do you already have one? What do you think about it? And while you're down there, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out and helps support future content, and I greatly appreciate it. Stay safe out there, everybody. Have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody.